Everyone, welcome back to our channel, and if you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm going to be showing you how I resize a mesh ventilated caps for small heads. So here I'm showing you I have a mesh ventilated cap in a size small, and I'm going to be using a 21-inch circumference, and I'm going to go ahead and place the cap onto the canvas head and put the customer's measurements in. So I'm just placing the cap into the measurements, my customer's measurements. I had to go in and fix it because for some reason I kept doing the front to nape 12.5 inches when her measurements were actually 12 inches. So I went in and fixed that. And then after I finished placing the cap into the measurements, I'm going to show you guys how much space is left in the cap. And then I'm going to get started on resizing the cap. All right, so you can see that I have a lot of space left in this cap, so I really need to resize it. I was trying to pinch the space out, but that definitely wasn't working, so I know I needed to really resize this cap by cutting it. So I'm going to show you exactly what I did. So I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to zoom you guys in. And I'm going to show you the top of the cap, and if you see the top where the plastic, there's a little space between the plastic and where the cap is, and I'm going to cut right above that. So I'm going to cut right above where the plastic ends and before the cap starts, right in the middle of that. And I made a little opening there. So you can see that I have the opening between where the plastic starts and where the cap is. And I'm going to tuck that plastic underneath it. So I'm going to take the mesh cap and put it over the part there. And I'm going to keep the ribbons and everything lined up. So I'm just showing you that I'm going to keep it lined up because you want to resize the cap, but you don't want to totally alter the cap. You still want this cap to have a nice fit. So I'm going to grab a bunch of T-pins and I'm going to use it to hold this cap in place. So I'm going to start with the middle. I'm going to pull it over that plastic and I'm going to pin it down and hold it in place. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other sides with the other ribbons. I'm going to line it up, pull it over, and then place the T-pin to hold it in place. And then once that's done, then I can start to work on the sides of it to get that space out. So all I'm going to do is just go to the sides and fold it over, just like how you would normally take out, space from your cap, and then just use the T-pins to hold it down. And then once I'm done on both sides, I'm going to grab my needle and thread and sew it down. And I just want to keep everything nice and neat. I'm just going to pin everything down and then I'm going to start to sew it down, keeping it as neat as possible. And you don't have to worry about any of this coming apart because you're going to be laying tracks across all of this and it's going to secure it even further. All right, so I'm almost finished sewing that all the way across, and then I'm going to show you guys the resized cap, how it looks, and how it's going to be a perfect fit now for when I create my customer's unit. All right, so I completely resized this cap, but it still looks good. It still looks intact. I didn't completely alter the cap, and now it's going to be, I'm just checking the measurements, and now it's going to be a complete perfect fit for my client's small head. And that's pretty much all it is to it. All right, so if you guys have a client with a small head and you come across this issue, you want to give this method a try, let me know in the comments down below if this works for you, or if you have other methods that you use to resize when you have clients with small heads. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time.